This is John Young, Assistant Superintendent here in Lincoln Parish, and this is our substitute handbook overview for 2023-24. It starts with our table of contents and also our equal opportunity employment statement. It includes a message from our superintendent and also a listing of our central office contacts. Our vision statement is to provide a quality education for a quality life, and our mission statement is to ensure higher academic achievement for all students and prepare them to be effective citizens. Standards of performance. Attitude. At the Lincoln Parish School System, we pride ourselves in always doing the following: treat everyone as if he or she is the most important person in our facility, promptly welcome students and staff in a friendly manner, smile, make eye contact, and introduce ourselves. Our body language, tone, and demeanor should always reflect a positive attitude. Take the initiative to offer assistance to students. We won't wait to be asked. We listen carefully to what students have to say. Rudeness is not acceptable. We speak positively and offer compliments frequently. We apologize for problems and inconveniences. We avoid placing the blame or making excuses. We thank families for choosing our schools. We know that students and parents are not an interruption of our work, but they are the reason for us being there, and we continue to be happy. Appearance. Each employee's appearance represents our school. Therefore, each employee's grooming and dress will be professional and appropriate. We at the Lincoln Parish School Board take pride in our facilities, and we strive to maintain a safe, uncluttered, and litter-free workplace. Your attire will be professional, tidy, discreet, tasteful, and appropriate. Your attire and body language are all a part of your appearance. Dress code policies will be followed. Good personal hygiene will always be maintained. Confidentiality. Do not discuss our students' performance with others. Communicate with our students and parents in a private manner after receiving permission from the principal. Eliminate gossip in order to respect coworkers. Others can often hear this unprofessional discussion. And remember that confidentiality extends into the community. Do not discuss students outside the school. Next is a complete listing of our schools with their phone numbers and also the principal. The principal's email address is also listed there as well. Also there on page 7 is the application process for becoming a substitute teacher. And also listed here below are crimes for no hire. And those convicted of these crimes need not apply to work in Lincoln Parish Schools as a substitute. Next, we have our substitute pay rates for half and full day. Reporting to substitute teaching assignment. You must be available to answer the phone using our automated substitute system, or ASOP, for teacher and para assignments. This gives a complete listing of what you need to do in terms of canceling and also what to do in terms of times of arrival. There are also procedures for arrival at school or in your classroom or designated area, and also end of the day procedures to make sure that everything that needed to take place happened before you leave. There's also listings of items requiring office approval. And also some daily classroom management responsibilities. And remember, no personal work of any kind should be done while you're there performing your duties as a substitute teacher or paraprofessional. Injuries and accidents. Any accident or personal injury should be reported directly to the office of principal, and an accident report form must be completed. Professional conduct. You must maintain a professional attitude toward your work. and a friendly, cheerful, and cooperative attitude, both toward the building personnel and students. It will help you start the day right and keep it running smoothly. Keep your voice clear, well modulated, and also use correct grammar. Your attitude will have a great deal to do with your acceptance by the faculty and also the students. You must be especially careful about the following. Do not criticize the employee for whom you substitute. Do not find fault with the schools where you work. Never make uncomplimentary comparisons between schools. Do not discuss grades or other confidential information unless you're seeking professional assistance from the principal or the designee. Please be discreet. Refrain from discrimination on the basis of race, sex, religion, or disability. Refrain from making statements and or actions that can be misconstrued as harassment, sexual harassment, and or bullying. And refrain from cell phone usage to include text messaging, photography, and social networking. Online trainings. An email will be sent to you requesting that you complete mandatory trainings which are not included in this handbook, and these trainings shall take place before you're allowed to substitute. There's also a statement on student confidentiality and also substitute discipline. The next section deals with substitute dismissal. And also, here at Lincoln Parish Schools, we prohibit the use of corporal punishment by all employees, including substitute teachers. Never use corporal punishment in any way to touch a child or use it to discipline any child. Also, you should never verbally abuse any child. If you're having discipline issues in your classroom, please let the principal or designee know by using the intercom system in the classroom to call for an administrator. There's also a statement on the use of telephones and other electronic communication devices. In the state of Louisiana, any employee who works with students, no matter the position, is a mandatory reporter for suspected child abuse or neglect. Remember, there are 3 ways to report suspected child abuse and neglect. The first way is to call the designated hotline 855-4LA-KIDS. You can make the report on the mandated reporter portal on the DCFS website, or you can make the report in person at the local DCFS office. And that phone number is 251-4101. Allegations of sexual offenses. The superintendent or his or her designee shall be required to notify local law enforcement of any allegation made by a student of the commission of a sex offense as defined by Louisiana Revised Statute 15541. And then that provision also gives the superintendent or designee 24 hours from the time the student notified the superintendent or other appropriate personnel to make that report. Also, any person who in good faith makes a report, cooperates in any investigation arising as a result of such report, or participates in judicial proceedings authorized under the Louisiana Children's Code shall have complete immunity from civil or criminal liability. Use of social media. The Lincoln Parish School Board recognizes the importance of incorporating current technology tools, including new methods of electronic communication, into the classroom to enhance student learning. The school board strives to ensure that electronic communication tools incorporated into the school curriculum are used responsibly and safely. The Lincoln Parish School Board acknowledges that employees or volunteers may engage in the use of social media during their personal time. Employees or volunteers who use social media for personal purposes must be mindful that they are responsible for their public conduct, even when not acting in their capacities as school district employees. All employees, including student teachers and independent contractors, shall comply with the requirements of this policy when using electronic social media for personal purposes. Social media communications involving students. Remember, for current employees to friend students on social media, you must have a familiar relationship. Miscellaneous conditions of employment. It shall be the policy of the Lincoln Parish School Board to reserve the right to inspect any school board owned property, including without limitations computers, desk lockers, and similar furnishings at any time, with or without notice, and that personal property an employee may bring on the school board premises may be subject to inspection, including searches in connection with the school board's investigation of stolen property, hazardous materials, controlled substances, or the health and safety of employees and students. Please carefully read our dress code guidelines for faculty and staff. Also, the Lincoln Parish School System is dedicated to providing a drug free workplace for its employees and the students in their charge. Toward that end, the unlawful manufacturing, distribution, dispensing, possession, or use of alcohol, narcotics, or drugs or controlled substances by any employee shall be prohibited in any workplace, school bus, and or vehicle operated by the Lincoln Parish School System. Violation of such prohibition in the workplace shall result in disciplinary action as may be specified. The Lincoln Parish School Board shall provide a tobacco-free school environment as well. The use of any tobacco product, smokeless tobacco, or any smoking object or device, including but not limited to electronic cigarettes, advanced personal vaporizers, vape pens, vape mods, and similar devices shall be prohibited on and in all Lincoln Parish School Board property and vehicles and at all school-sponsored or school-approved functions. Employee conduct. The Lincoln Parish School Board believes that the teaching profession occupies a position of public trust involving not only the individual teacher's personal conduct, but also the interaction of the school and the community. Education is most effective when these many relationships operate in a friendly, cooperative, and constructive manner. A teacher's conduct, as well as the conduct of all employees throughout the school district, should meet acceptable standards of the community and show respect for the law and the rights of others. Above all, employees shall be courteous to students, one another, and the public, and conduct themselves in a professional and ethical manner. You must also advocate positive personal behavior on or off campus to avoid improprieties or the appearance of an impropriety. Employees shall be prohibited from engaging in any form of sexual conduct with students. In particular, it is a violation of criminal statutes for any educator, which includes any administrator, coach, instructor, teacher, paraprofessional, teacher aide, or student aide to engage in sexual conduct as defined by Louisiana Revised Statute 1481.4. Notwithstanding any claim of privileged communication, any educator having cause to believe that prohibited sexual conduct has occurred between another educator and a student shall be required by state law to immediately report such conduct to local or state law enforcement. Remember, in the state of Louisiana, you're a mandatory reporter for child abuse and neglect or suspected child abuse and neglect. And there are 3 ways to report child abuse and neglect in Louisiana. The first way is to call to make the report at 251-4101 or 855-4LA-KIDS. You can make the report online on the DCFS website, or you can make the report in person at any DCFS location within the zone of the suspected abuse. Remember, mandatory reporting for any administrator, teacher, counselor, bus operator, volunteer, or other school employee, whether full-time or part-time, who learns of a threat of violence or a threat of terrorism, whether through oral communication, written, or electronic, shall immediately report that threat to local law enforcement, and also to immediately report that threat to your school administrator. Sexual harassment. It is the policy of the Lincoln Parish School Board to provide an employment environment that is free from unwelcome sexual advances, requests for sexual favors, and other verbal or physical conduct or communications deemed to constitute sexual harassment. The Lincoln Parish School Board shall not tolerate sexual harassment by any student, employee, or non-employee volunteer or school board member toward any individual. Remember, harassment on the basis of sex is defined by any unwelcome sexual advances, requests for sexual favors, and other verbal or physical conduct of a sexual nature when submission to such conduct is made either explicitly or implicitly a term or condition of an individual's employment, subject to or rejection of such individual by of conduct by an individual is used as a basis for employment decisions affecting the individual, or such conduct has the purpose or effect of unreasonably interfering with an individual's work performance or creating an intimidating, hostile, or offensive working environment. Inappropriate conduct which may constitute sexual harassment may include, but is not limited to, verbal harassment such as derogatory comments, jokes, slurs, or remarks or questions of a sexual nature, physical harassment such as unnecessary or offensive touching, and visual harassment such as derogatory offensive posters, cards, cartoons, graffiti, drawings, looks, or gestures. And remember, harassment may depend not only upon the perpetrator's intention, but also upon how the person who is the target perceives the behavior or is affected by it. Any person who believes he or she has been the victim of sexual harassment must report that immediately to their direct supervisor. If your direct supervisor is your harasser, you report that directly to me here at Central Office for investigation. There are also specific examples of what constitutes verbal and nonverbal sexual harassment. Please read over this in its entirety. Any complaint about harassment shall be immediately reported to the Title IX coordinator, and I am the Title IX coordinator, and my address is listed there. My phone number is 255-1430, extension 221, and my email address is john.young@lincolnschools.org. On page 27, you will find the 2023-24 Lincoln Parish School Board calendar. And also, you will have the scheduled payroll periods and payroll deposit dates. If you have any questions about Frontline or its usage, you can contact Daryl Savage. And it's daryl.savage@lincolnschools.org at 255-1430, extension 217, or Julie Stevenson, julie.stevenson@lincolnschools.org, 255-1430, extension 225, for assistance with your Frontline account. And also, there's some information there about how to set up or create your Frontline ID account. In this section, tells you how to select jobs for the day. If you need to cancel a selected job that you had made previously, there's information on that as well. And also at the end of this handbook is information about our mobile app for Frontline. And the last part of the handbook is the job description for the substitute teacher. Please read this to understand your essential duties and responsibilities as a substitute teacher here in Lincoln Parish. That concludes the substitute handbook training for 2023-24. Have a great day.